Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Wednesdays once again. Well, today I have something special to talk about, and I think that's very important and necessary. So, if you're here, so please give me some highs and hellos. Well, today I'll be talking on a very important aspect that is scientific community building for undergraduates. I thought that I'll speak on this because I think for any building to rise, the foundation to be strong is very important in that way. So, if I talk about undergraduates in any stream, whether it is science, technology, healthcare, in any stream, when you are stepping into undergraduation, that's where the foundation starts of whatever career you are going to pursue forward. And for academicians or teachers or faculties who would be watching this, we as academicians, we it is a moral responsibility. It comes when we start sitting on the other side of the chair and we start judging or evaluating the students on the other side, that it is our duty to encourage them to take up or make their foundation stronger. Okay, don't worry. I'm not here to, literally, give some philosophical ideas, but this is, I want to share this because you might have, some of you who know me, you might have seen that I always talk about undergraduate research or strengthening it, or, I literally tell that I love to be with students. The only reason behind this is that, first of all, this thing inside me came not in one day. Through my entire academics, which I have been through, I have been encouraged much by all my teachers. So first of all, I give them. I really am grateful to all my teachers because I think that is where the thing starts. Well, I come to the topic today, that is scientific community building. So I know that we are much aware of what is meant by scientific community, or what is meant by a group of people talking about a particular topic. But scientific community building is little different. This is something I'll give you a plan, or maybe I will share certain ways that I have come up through my experience, and you are free to go ahead and replicate that. And if it works, please let me know. Okay, so basically, whenever we talk about scientific community, either it is through conferences, through different academic platforms like seminars, or say nowadays the new normal is webinars. Well, if you have noticed that there is one problem in this, that is which I feel that this is my personal perspective, and I have no intention to criticize or tell anything to others. This is just my personal perspective that I'm sharing with you today, that there is a lack of space where the other person can speak. That is first thing. Second thing is that there is some kind of lack of communication. Like, for example, today, if I am giving you, suppose I am an expert in certain topic. All right, that is what I have studied through my life. So you tell me, you ask me to tell something about it, I'll be happy to tell about it. But the person who is listening for the first time, if I don't have a rapport, or if I don't have a communication, a provision for a communication, then, or if I am not approachable, then I think the entire thing, the knowledge that I shared, just goes waste. Because if I am not approachable, if I'm not giving the other person a space, a place to communicate or talk or ask, then I also don't develop. And I think that is the biggest gap where things has to be mended. So through scientific conferences and other similar platforms. My personal feeling is that it is more of a monologue because, for example, when we do a conference, we bring in all the big shots or we try to bring in the experts from the field. But what is the next? Do we create a provision to discuss with the participants or understand their views or what queries they have? We cannot do it because whenever we are doing a conference or seminar, uh, we have a stipulated time. But can we not do it after that? Can we not take out little time from our daily schedule and build a group of interested people, bringing them together who might have attended your seminar or conference or whatever your lecture, so that you can actually understand what or conception they got from what you have spoken of or somebody else or some expert has spoken of. So that is the basic idea. So scientific community building is the first step to strengthen science. If today we are talking about coming up with things, innovations that will solve our problem, we don't want to buy anything from other places. We want to make things in India. That's very good. But do our education system provide us that confidence? Do our education system nurture us in that way that we are encouraged to ask questions? I'm sure there are many academicians who really love to do this, and they are nurturing their students because I think I was one student and still I am a student where anywhere I go to learn I will have too many questions because I think and I have learned from other experts or other mentors in my life whom I have that if a question is unanswered, then the knowledge does not progress. So, scientific community building for undergraduates is very, very essential. I think I have spoken almost 7 minutes, and that is good enough for an introduction. So, let me just come to the point. I will share certain ways, or maybe I can specify that I will share some five best ways to start a community building program. You can, if you are a student who is watching or who will be watching, if you are a faculty, if you are an early career researcher, whoever you are, whoever is watching, and if you find that the things that I'm sharing is really interesting, then please go ahead and try to implement this. I'm sure you will find some difference in after implementing. So now I will come and tell you the five best ways to start community building. Well, at the first instance, it might sound that I am talking to, I'm telling you to build up something which like sounds like a kindergarten, kindergarten school kids, but no. Uh, I thought that it would be a little innovative to make things interesting. So first, based among the five best ways, I'm just trying one. I'm telling you one by one, and you are free to implement all of them or one of them. You can start scientific community building as if you are UG students or if you are students rather, you can start a small group of your own, or if you are faculties, you can implement that this system on your students. I'm very confident it will work well. So let me just give you the first way, that is shout outs. Well, this is a very quick way for students to celebrate each other for doing a job well or attempting a challenging task. Well, I'll be referring whatever I have written up over here sometimes. So don't follow my eyes, follow my voice. Okay. So shout out can be incorporated at any point. Give them if you are a faculty, give them a scientific challenge. Let them solve it, because in this process they'll go out and search and fetch more knowledge, and you will see that a wonderful thing has come up. and many new ideas will grow. In this way, their intellect, their inquisitiveness, you are creating inquisitiveness in them for searching for the quest. We have to build that, give them that impetus, show them the pathway with whichever we have traversed, that go and search for the thing. So one is shout out. Second is sharing acts of kindness through science. As I said, I'm not here to tell you something philosophical. For example, this is particularly for my lovely students who are listening, undergraduates. See, most of the time, you can do it yourself. So I'll give you a very common example. We have to do tooth carving out of wax blocks in dentistry when we learn for the first time about tooth anatomy and structure. So the first thing as a student that you can do is, when you are in a group, if you are good at carving, teach your fellow mate. If you teach, if you share knowledge, you will grow stronger. Second, for teachers, I would like to say that implement this kind of activity for the students in the group. You will see, they, instead of barring them or just segregating them as individuals, if you compensate who is good and who is bad, the slow, nobody is good and bad, by the way. I don't believe that. Some are slow and some are fast learners. That's the only difference. So those who are slow learners, they will pick it up very fast, and then you evaluate. As a faculty, definitely you should evaluate. So you lessen your burden, let the students do your work. Okay, that's a better way. That is sharing acts of kindness. So it can be tooth carving, and if you're from basic sciences, maybe you can just, if you're good at DNA extraction, go and help your friend, or if you're a faculty listening, do the same thing that you can do, and explain the topic, whatever you are good at, explain it to your fellow mate. Number three, best way would be something called as paper tweets. You have heard about Twitter, right? So let, you can bring Twitter on paper. Okay, that's a very innovative idea. So let the students share their own ideas for developing a solution to a societal problem. Let's say we can start with a small group in which one can decide to make a tweet of a particular scientific topic. As happens, like we write something in Facebook, then some people follow us, some people comment. So in that group, someone should write, someone should make that paper tweet, someone should comment, someone should criticize, someone should appreciate. So in that way, you learn fantastic science. You come out with solutions for a societal problem. Number four is group salutes. This is particularly, I request, if it is possible, in whatever, for the faculties particularly, if possible, in whatever field you are teaching, this is applicable. This is something which I'm telling is a very universal academic, steps for community building, actually. So divide the class into 4 to 5 groups, depending on the number of students, and that you can handle. Assign them a scientific task to be completed. Select a leader, and then once they are a leader selected, let them do the job. Let the leader lead and thank and tell each of the group member what they have contributed. So that is group salutes. And number five, very important, another thing that you can do, you can discuss a scientific study, a published paper, or anything, any other thing that you think is relevant. Then let the students determine or find out one negative and one positive, or maybe number of negatives and number of positives about the work. So these are the ways you can implement all of this step by step and start creating real scientific community. Because if there is no space of interaction, there is no space for growth. Knowledge increases only by sharing and interaction. Well, I'll come to the conclusion. Now, I have written in this post that I will, I'll announce something which is comes as a surprise. Nothing much, but I'm announcing the opening of a scientific community group, Facebook group. I name it as Cognos. So this community is the Cognos says as community of engrossing and novel undergraduate science. So whoever is very interested, there is no force, there is no impositions. If among all of you, if one student comes up, I will be very happy. That's my success. Because in this, through Cognos, first task that we are taking up, and my team, like my what I'll tell, my wings, that is Dr. Udita, Kanchan, they are always ever enthusiastic, and without mentioning them, I cannot leave this platform. So we are working on this very closely. So this is a group where you can come, you can speak, you can share your ideas. But first, as a first step, through this group, we are inviting undergraduate students, interns, to come and join this group so that we will start a process of writing a review article. So this is a group for the UGs and by the UGs. So what would be the topic would be selected by you. It will be a voting, and we will select, and then we will go through the rigorous process of review, how to write a review paper. At the best, we'll try to publish it definitely at our best possible capabilities. But it is a serious work. You just, if you are passionate, if you like this, then only you should join. Otherwise, this is not something where you can just come and scroll and see a post. You have to be super active in this group. Okay. So with that, I think I took much of your time, and today I'll take my leave. And I hope that you will connect with me uh, to be a part of Cognos. And well, many of you might be thinking that what is the price to attend or be a member of this community? Um, I need only not one thing, I need two things from you, your passion and your patience. That's all. So if you have the passion and patience, you are most welcome, and join me and my team uh, for a review writing exercise. That's the first step, because Cognos has many more things ahead, which we will tell in a step-by-step manner. And one thing which I started in my last endeavor of International Saliva Symposium, that is a Research Idea Award. So I started dedicating it to my dad. So that's Kriya. So we will also have certain elements like this in Cognos, but I will not tell everything today because it is just a start, and I wanted to tell about this. And I request everybody, whatever I shared, you can replicate, duplicate this, and you can start your own community building. And if you wish that, and if you think it really matters, then you can just send me a note that you implemented, and also share your experience as a student. If you're starting community building, if you are a faculty, if you're starting, you're implementing, please give me that feedback. That will be very it will be a great honor, and it will be a pleasure to understand from you. So thank you so much for being here always and encouraging me. With that, I'll take your leave from today's platform, and I hope I'll see many of you UGs and interns in the Cognos. And this is a group which is open to everybody, but I mean from any field, UGs from any field of science and technology, healthcare. So thank you, take care, and stay safe. Bye bye, and have a great hot cup of tea. Bye.